obviously you got Ali sitting on the side there.
Who?
Ali.
Oh yeah, Ali won't be fit this week, another week. Jaco's fine, got a knock to his neck, we'll just take a precaution, but Doxy is fine to play. So yeah, other than the big injuries, the Sia, Peter, Steph and Bongi and Ali, then we're full, the rest of them all fit here.
Big game.
Oh, it's a massive game for us. It's funny how the world can change quickly, but in terms of the conference, in some ways, in terms of the conference, obviously a vital game. In some ways, it's probably the best result in terms of the conference for us. What happened last week, because I think if the Jaguars start going and we've all got to go to Buenos Aires, it's tricky, So it's been a good result for us if we manage to go up there and get a win, which would be very tough. So it's a conference defining, potentially season defining game for us.
Yeah, you got two of them back to back, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because after this you're going to
the yeah. So this is this game, the Sharks have toured. This is absolutely, as I say, it could be a season defining game for us.
Yeah, I mean it's maybe a season defining 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, because although that's maybe also a bit harsh to say that, because you never know what can happen going forward.
Yeah, I mean it feels like I think you're right. It feels like it's season defining now as we sit here, and obviously the conference games with the 8 to 10 point swings are vital, but we know how quickly the world can change. 10 days ago we were, potentially the best team in Super Rugby. Now, if you read, we really have slumped terribly, and we were poor against the Blues. But the competition's still a long way to go. But for us, it just feels like it's season defining.
Are you considering maybe a throw of the dice with JL at 10 and possibly moving Damien to fullback or something like that?
We could pretty, I think it's an option. We're not completely broken, so I don't want to panic in any form. It is an option we're looking at, but I think the problem with that is if we move Damien to fullback, we got to the late, so we think it's one of the best fullbacks in the competition. So I'm not sure it's an option, but we'll look at it.
JL at 10, is that part of the discussion?
Yeah, that's part of the discussion. We literally, you can see both have been running 10 outside there, so we're still working on it.
John, I know we don't inside the inner circles, but things do look a bit subdued. I mean, what is it like? You come from a weekend where without playing you go from 1 to 5.
Yeah, can't lose a bye, but you can't win a bye either. Things do feel, they are subdued. I think the nature of our defeat against the Blues was, we went into it really hard last week. We weren't happy with lots of aspects, we didn't wish it away. It wasn't a 32-30. They get 3 tries to 2 and 3 tries to 2. And to me, that was the worst version of 3 tries to 2, you know what I mean? People say we went the back hour 14-13, but we were beat. So there's been a lot of introspection about our work rate and stuff like that. So that's probably why, that's probably why we've been squeezing the guys, and probably why they're feeling like you sense up there.
Yeah, but physicality-wise, do you think you were a bit short as well? Because
we were short on work rate. That was the thing by a mile that we flagged. You're not going to get physicality if you're not getting off the ground, and you're going to give yards on the blind side if your forwards aren't recycling properly, you know what I mean? So I know it looked like once or twice physically we got the march on them, they got the march on us, and I think 1 or twice. But we've been over this game forensically. It's borne out by clips, it's borne out by the GPS data. Our work rate was right down, and if you're not going to work to get yourself in a position you can't get off the line properly, and you're going to dominate physically, you know what I mean?
Was this the mental switch, or?
4 or 5 guys have flagged there and said that they're sorry to the team. I think there must have been an element of complacency that we didn't pick up on. Listen, the Blues are a good team. They're still going to, I know we've gone from this to this, but I take it from me that Blues are going to beat lots of teams in New Zealand still. That's a really tough rugby team. It's a heavy pack, it's hard to move. Lucky we came out on top, with I think it was 4 penalties to 1 advantage, whatever, but there's some really class players in the Blues team. They've won 4 games on their way now. I know they lost to Chiefs and Crusaders at home, but you watch those games closely, those games wasn't much in it, so I think they're going to be a really good side going into the sort of sharp end of Super Rugby. But I agree, we didn't arrive.
And what did the Sharks bring differently that the Blues?
The Sharks got the kicking, I think they're number 3 in the tournament or something like that, so a massive kicking game. And obviously learn off turnovers. Blues are really direct. they're trying to play. They could hear them on the ref's mic pushing the tempo, really squeezing us on tempo, really direct with the carries. So whereas the Sharks, I think the Sharks are third or fourth in the competition amount of kicks, the kicking distance, the kicking contestables, and obviously they turnover, they transition from defensive to attack is superb. Whereas the Blues were much more of a direct carrying side. They dominated us position and territory-wise. And they're really well disciplined, the Blues, which is not what you expect from them. The Sharks, I think, are the leading penalty, they've got the leading peak penalty. The net effective penalties conceded is the biggest, and Blues is one of the better disciplined teams.
And then obviously meeting Notche up in Durban.
Notche's a really, really good friend of mine. When he wanted to leave, he came to my house and we had a long chat. And it's weird, you watch him score for the Jaguars and you jump, yes, I think, fuck, we're playing him next week. So it's going to be really conflicted because I really wanted that guy to break through for a long time. I've worked with him since 2012, so I'm really, really pleased. I'm really pleased for him. I hope it doesn't go too well this Saturday, but.
Do you in a way regret letting him go, or is it really just a matter of you? I mean, you couldn't make him any promises.
We can be emotional and say like the way he's playing now. But if you sat last year, we had a trim from 70 odd players to 45. He came out, and I say he's a really good friend of mine. I say that sincerely. He's a house friend of mine. Notche needed to, he was a 5 or 6 cap Springbok. He needed to play for the Springboks. To play for the Springboks, you need to be starting Super Rugby. If Sia Khaleesi planned number 8 and Tokegis as World Under 20 Player of the Year, and Jaco Kutsia, could I guarantee Notche on the format of last year or the year before, guarantee him a place in the starting lineup of the Stormers? It's irresponsible to promise that. So we literally shook. We had my beer, her house, and shook hands. I said, Notche, I'd love to keep you. We want to keep you. We made him an offer, but he had to look at his reality of game time, And so always knew if he was going to get a run, he would be, because that's what Pieter is coming off the bench and beating himself up so much. You know what I mean? And I think the turnover style of game that the Sharks are playing, and the space that suits him. So it's easy to say now. I regret it. At the time, it was the right decision and I think it's proven to be the right decision for Notche, which makes me happy.
Dobbo, I suppose if there's anyone who does know how to shut him down, it's you. In terms of limiting his effectiveness for the Sharks.
Hard to shut Notche down in space. That's what he's been. That's where we are disappointed we didn't create enough of those opportunities for him here the past few years. Be it a Currie Cup. Notche can do the hard yards. We played a Currie Cup final in Durban in 2017. He played at 6. Nobody saw him, but cheap as he worked. So I do think the guys will keep an eye. I do know these guys. They'll keep an eye on Notche. But we can't let him give the space that he's enjoyed in the last few weeks.
Have the guys come to terms with losing Peter Steff on top of the Blues? Blues.
Yeah, I mean it's obviously a big blow. People talk about this massive Springbok. We've got 3 World Cup winning Springboks up the forwards now, and sort of pretty serious injuries. They're quite resilient. I think the shame of that performance against the Blues and how we worked. How if you get beat, but if you don't work, I think you're quite ashamed, especially if you can show the guys the clips. So I think that was the sort of main driver that they want to bounce back. Peter Steff hasn't been really talked about that much.
Have you decided on his replacement, or are you still?
I think I suggested that Ernst is probably the most similar like for like. I think Yaku and Truki had poor games against the Blues by their own admission. They fall into the category of the walkers, and they'll both respond. So that's probably the way we're heading. As Michael telling you now, the team will be announced on Thursday.
Just your thoughts on Damian Willemse's season thus far at 10?
If you watch that Blues game properly, there was nothing to do with Damian Willemse. It was our pack not working. So, I think we must be pretty forensic in aware of emotional generalizations. People say he's on the ground a lot. He's on the ground in counter-attack when he runs the ball back. And there he is on the ground a lot. He's on the ground for a lot for a fly-off. But the plans, if he takes to the line, Dylan Lates must be first receiver. They can't both be in that breakdown. So to a large degree, Damian's been doing that job. Not many fly-offs will make that pass to Sergio The one, it's called, actually I'm not going to be what it's called, but it's a planned pass. And it's a hard pass. You got 12 running, you've got to give it just behind his back, like that for Sergio to run out into. And so there's lots about his general game that we're very happy with. I think unfortunately people see him miss the pole, they see the penalty kicks not getting the distance, which is absolutely valid. And the knock. But to be fair to Damien, so that stigmatises him, to be fair to Damien, that call for that line-out was absolutely, it was when we went to kick off 9 contestable because they had a wing in the bin. Damien he was getting ready to chase, and suddenly the ball comes in, now he dropped, and now he's having a poor season. He's not on top of his game, but I think he's been overly criticised, in my view.
So he's been running at 15 a lot this week. You know where this is going.
Yeah, I mean, it is an option. It is an option. Yeah.
Dobbo, I know you've spoken about taking your season in phases, and I mean after the bye, this is another this is the next phase. Does the Blue, in terms of rotating your squad, especially, did the Blues defeat change that at all? Especially in terms of the pressure you might be under in the conference.
Yeah, I think it did change things a little bit. There's obviously an imperative in those first 5 games, with 4 of them being at home and the away one being a conference game, that we had to put out our strongest team. Also, we can't. There's a massive business imperative at Newlands. We have to get ticket sales, and we've exceeded our target, the budget every time for the thing. But part of that is people coming to watch Sia, unfortunately, it's injured Peter Steff and the whole lot. So that plan was, I think, sort of in retrospect, the right plan. We were going to sort of start, but this is a conference game, and if if a guy like Ali had been fit, maybe that was an option for this week. But the reality is, amongst the forwards now, you're taking 3 forwards out. There's less room to manoeuvre. We've got some room at loose forward. Obviously, with Peter Steff takes a little bit of pressure. We've got some room at lock to change things up a bit, which we might do.
All right. Is there any update on when Peter Steff's going to be back?
I think they're doing one of their videos. Gavin, he went there. His last procedure was yesterday. Was it? And we'll update on. Was it?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah. So we'll have similar what we did with Sia and with Bongi. We'll have a video with him out.
Look, he's definitely playing again Super Rugby in the normal season. I'm just not sure which date it is, and it is so that overread when he says there's another procedure. It's part of it's all one of the plan. You've got to with those injuries. I don't want to say too much, but you've got to